Hello, my name is Bob Foster, and I'm the president of the Fairhaven High School Alumni Association. And I'm standing here in the middle of the most beautiful and the largest classroom in the school, room 7. Now, I thought I'd start off by telling you a little bit about Fairhaven High School and how this beautiful public high school got built by our town benefactor, Henry Huddleston Rogers. Henry Huddleston Rogers had graduated from the original Fairhaven High School, which was on Main Street, not far from this school, in 1856. He was in the first graduating class in town, and on the occasion of his 50th reunion, high school reunion, if you will, he decided to give the town a brand new school. He had already donated a number of buildings to the town, such as the town hall, the Millicent Library, and he decided to donate this new beautiful school and make it the most beautiful high school in America. Now, when he built the school, he had a few requirements that he asked his architect, Charles Brigham, to include. And one of them was to build the most beautiful and largest classroom that he could. And that's the room that I'm standing in here right now, known as Room 7. If you talk to any graduates of Fairhaven High School, they can easily remember the number of this room, and most of them will tell you what seat they sat in when they were in here for their homeroom. The reason Henry wanted this room to be extra large and extra beautiful was that back in his day, very often students dropped out of school after the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. There was no requirement to stay in school till you were 16. And Henry really thought it was important for kids to stay in school and get a full education and a diploma after the 12th grade. So his plan for this room was he asked the school to make sure that this was the homeroom for the juniors and the seniors. Now, this room has 102 wooden desks in it. These are the original wooden desks. They're 118 years old, and they've held up pretty well. But obviously, now, the most recent senior class had 157 students in it, so not all of the students could fit in this room nowadays. But back in his day, there were 129 students in the entire school in 1906. So they could fit the juniors and seniors all comfortably in here for their homeroom. Now, as you look behind me, and you'll notice the ceiling and the ornate Italian hand plastered ceilings that we have here, and the woodwork, all the hand carving that was done in the woodwork that you can see around the room. It was a pleasure to be able to be in this room for any length of time, whether it was your homeroom or back in the old days we had study halls. Rogers felt that this would entice those that were freshmen and sophomores as they walked by this room and saw it from the hallways to want to be able to make it to be a junior and senior so that they could take advantage of the experience of being in this room. Now, one thing that's happened over the years, the Alumni Association has had to step up and help out the school with the restoration of some of the desks in this room. In the 1980s, we actually had this entire room restored. We've got some grants from the Mass Historical Society, and we also raised a number of funds. And with the blessing of the school committee, we restored the ceiling in this room, which had got kind of dingy over the years as a result of burning coal in the furnace here. And the desks got a little bit carved up, and the floors were kind of worn. So we had all these desks taken out and refinished back in the early 80s. The ceilings were all cleaned and restored by some expert restoration painters, and the floors were completely redone as well. In 2001, we did the desks again. We had them all taken out, and we had them sanded and refinished. But what's happened lately is that some of the desks, particularly the tops of the desks, have experienced shrinkage of the wood. And the refinisher that we're using, the restoration company, which, by the way, is Cape Cod Furniture Restoration in Wareham, Mass. Jim Zine, the owner of that company, has told us that it's basically shrinkage of the wood. And what started to happen is that some of the wood is starting to drop down and eventually would just collapse. Well, the Alumni Association feels that this room, the special character of the room, is largely defined by these desks. Now, there used to be wooden desks in all the classrooms in this 1906 building. This is the only room that still has any remaining. And we'd like to keep it that way for as long as we can. So right now, we're going through an experience of taking out the desks, and you can see behind me that there are a number of desks that have been taken out recently and last week, and they're being refinished, repaired, and then brought back in. We hope over the next couple of months to have all 102 of them done and back in place. This classroom is still used every day of the year. They don't use it for homeroom anymore, but it is used as a classroom because they need the space. And also it's a beautiful space for the kids to be able to appreciate the architecture of the entire school. If you haven't had a chance to see our video documentary on the Castle on the Hill, which is the nickname of this school, you can view that by going to Fairhaven TV YouTube page. And I think you'll appreciate not only this classroom, room 7, but also the old gym, which has now been converted into the new library as of 1999, and also the Knipe Auditorium, which is right above this room and is the most beautiful auditorium that you'll ever see in a public high school. Okay. Now you can see that the desks that have been taken out, which they've been taking them out over the last several weeks, 12 at a time, and when they bring back in 12 restored desks, and these 20 desks on this side of the room have all been completed, and you can see what a great job Cape Cod Furniture Restoration has done with them. The desks that are empty here, these will be coming back in over the next few weeks, and then the remainder of the room on this end, the rest of the 102 desks, those will all be done hopefully by the end of September, early October. If you're wondering how the Alumni Association funds projects like this, we have one fundraiser each year. It's called the Light a Light fundraiser, which we start in October, and it goes through the holiday season. And basically, we ask our alums to donate whatever amount that they want, and for every $10 that we receive, we light a light bulb on our beautiful blue spruce tree that's out on the west lawn of the high school. Our alums have been extremely generous over the years, and we've been able to fund a lot of these type of projects. Another example of a project we did are the lights that you see on the ceiling. In 2016, the Alumni Association replaced the previous lights, which weren't very attractive to this room, and we found a light that is more representative of the original lighting. These lights cost us $11,000, but they meet the state lighting code and look very similar to the lights that were originally in this room in 1906. Now the ceiling, you may notice, is a very ornate ceiling. It's actually Elizabethan Renaissance in style, and it's one thing that Charles Brigham, the architect who designed this school, included just to make it stand out as being an exceptional classroom. This desk restoration project is costing us $31,000, and the alumni will hopefully fund this by the funds that we've raised from our Light a Light fundraiser each year. And the one that's going to be starting up in October, if you're wondering how you can donate to that, you can go to fairhavenalumni.org, our website, and there you'll see a button to be able to donate. Also, if you're an alumni and you want to subscribe to our newsletter, you can go to that same website and subscribe right there, and you'll receive the newsletters that we send out 5 or 6 times a year. especially during the Light of Light fundraising season. That's the only fundraiser that we use. We sometimes get grants from various sources to augment our various projects. But this is what we do. We try to work hand in hand with the school department to try to restore the school when needed. And we're able to do some projects that just are over and above what the high school and the school department could normally afford to do in their budget. All right, so I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for supporting the Fairhaven High School Alumni Association. Thank you very much.